All right. So, hello and welcome everybody to your next exciting week of learning how to play bridge. What I figured I would do, because we are doing this new layout thing where we are getting to, interact more in real time, I thought it might be nice for us to just start way back at the beginning and start with a high level overview of bridge. Hopefully this will be fun for everybody, even if you do know some things about bridge. So what is bridge? This is going to be our question that we are answering today. So we're going to start with our agenda here. We're going to start with a challenge question. This is just a way to get us sort of thinking, talking, chatting, etc. And then we're going to go through some logistics of the game. And we're going to learn how to take tricks with and without trump. And then why is bridge special? And then finally, the goals of the game and how to practice. So let's start with our challenge question. So when we think of bridge, what TV shows, movies, books, or people come to mind? So I have a couple up here, but if anybody has any ideas, feel free to mention it or to pop it in the chat. So for me, the first one I thought of was Fargo season 3. So that show Fargo, like the entire third season actually follows like a couple that goes and plays bridge. And when I saw that, I just was losing my mind. I thought it was so cool. Bill Gates, a classic example of a bridge player. So he's a very famous person. A lot of people know him. A lot of people don't know that he plays bridge. James Bond, he's a bridge player as well. Modern Family, there is a short scene in one of the episodes where the younger girl, Lily, she has a friend come over and her friend is very smart and they decide to go and play bridge, but it's only the two of them and it's a little bit wonky, but I thought it was really cute that they tried to show that in that way. And then finally, Zia. So Zia is going to be one of the most, fascinating characters in the world of bridge. He is just eccentric and exciting and willing to take risks and imaginative. And so I think that these are some really good examples of people, books, movies, shows, etc. that bridge brings to mind for me. And if you have any extras you want to add, feel free to drop those in the chat as we go through class. So let's go through some logistics when it comes to playing bridge. So bridge is a trick-taking game, and what that means is that everyone is going to play one card. Highest card played in the suit led wins the trick, and whoever wins starts the next one. It's a little bit more specific than that, but that's the basic principle. And what do you need to play? Well, you need 4 people. So 1, 2, 3, 4 people. It can include you. And then 1 standard deck of cards, 52 cards, no jokers. And then you can also optionally have bidding boxes. So bidding boxes are just used for the auction part of the game, but they are going to be helpful for anybody who's hard of hearing, or if you're like me and half the time you mishear people or misunderstand what they're saying. Yeah, it's nice to have the bidding boxes. So how does it work? Well, 4 people are going to sit at the table, and generally what we do is we refer to those 4 people at the table using the cardinal directions. So we refer to them as north, east, south, and west. So this is something that is nice to do for many reasons, but one of the main reasons is because when you go and you play at the club and you are playing duplicate bridge, the same boards get played at every table. And so if you want to compare with everybody after the session and talk about like, oh, I did this, oh, I did that, you can do that, and it's really easy to refer to like, oh, the north hand on this one had the queen of spades, and so it's easy to refer to them by their cardinal directions. The partners are going to be seated opposite each other, so north is going to be paired with south and east with west. You're going to deal out those 52 cards evenly among the 4 people, and everyone's going to end up with 13 cards. And after this, there's an auction period, and we will talk more about that shortly. This is just my little graphic that was supposed to be earlier, but that's okay. So it's showing who those partners are. So north is paired with south and east with west. So in that auction period, let's talk about what happens. So starting with the dealer, the person who dealt out all the cards, you're going to move clockwise around the table, and every person is going to have a chance to bid or pass. And each bid is going to be comprised of a number and a strain. And that strain is either going to be a suit or it is going to be no trump. And then you're going to continue bidding until there are 3 consecutive passes. So here is an example of a bid, 1 heart. So with this, you are showing the number of tricks that you are trying to take. That's going to correspond to that number. And then the heart symbol is indicating what suit is our trump suit or what suit has superpowers. So if you make the last bid in the auction, that decides what the goal is for that hand. But let's think about this for a second. There are 13 tricks in a hand of bridge. So it seems kind of silly that you're going to only try to take one of them. So the final contract, it's going to set the goal for both partnerships. So if your partnership makes the last bid, you have to try to meet the goal that was set. And if your opponents made the last bid, then you have to prevent them from meeting their goal. So with that in mind, there's 13 tricks. If you're trying to take just one, that's going to be pretty easy to do most of the time. So the 1 level does not correspond to 1 trick. Instead, we are trying to always take at least the majority, especially because you're working as a partnership. And so the level that's indicated here, +6, is going to indicate the number of tricks that you are trying to take. So 1 + 6 would be 7. So you're trying to take 7 tricks with hearts as your trump suit or as your suit with superpowers. So let's talk about how to take some tricks. So first, you want to think about who is leading. And this is going to be determined by that auction period. So whichever partner bid the strain of the final contract first becomes who we call the declarer. And the person to the left of them makes the first lead. So the auction for this hand ended when North bid 4 hearts. 3 passes followed. South, however, is the person who bid hearts first in the auction. So who is making that opening lead? Well, it's going to be West. West is going to be the person who makes the opening lead here. So they can choose any of their 13 cards to start the first trick. Here they chose the Jack of Spades. Play is going to move clockwise around the table, and so now is going to be North's turn to play a card. So they don't just get to choose any of the 13 cards in their hand. They have to do something a little bit special. This is our number 1 rule in bridge, the one rule in bridge that you have to follow. You have to play a card in the same suit as the suit that was led for that trick. So here the Jack of Spades was led. That means that North, if they have a spade, they must play it. This also applies to the 2 other people at the table. So East has to follow suit. They have to play a spade if they have one. And South has to follow suit. They have to play a spade if they have one. So here we have the Jack, 6, 9, and King. And we're trying to figure out who is winning this trick. So the highest card in the suit led is going to win this trick. So for this one, it's going to be that King of Spades. So South is the one winning the trick. So they get to lead to the next trick. But remember, this is a partnership game. So all of South's successes are also North's successes. So the North-South partnership won this trick. So now let's talk about what a trump suit is and how that changes the hand. So what is trump? It is a suit that has superpowers. And so if you play a card from the trump suit, you can beat any card of any other suit. But if a higher trump card is played on that trick, then they'll end up winning that trick. So for this example, we are playing in a 4-heart contract. So hearts are the ones that have superpowers. So here, West starts us off again with the Jack of Spades. North follows with the King. And we still have to follow our fundamental rule of bridge, the one rule in bridge that we cannot break, which is that we must follow suit. So here, East does not follow suit. What does that say about East's hand? Well, we know that East does not have any spades, because if they had a spade, they would have played the spade. So here, this heart is indicating that East doesn't have any spades, and they've decided to use a trump card because hearts are trump on this hand. And then South, they still have to follow suit to that opening lead, so they still have to play a spade if they have one. So who won this trick? Well, the highest card in this suit led unless a trump card was played. And then the highest trump card played wins. So here, the 7 of hearts was going to be the highest trump played. So East is the one who won the trick, so they get to lead to the next one. So now let's talk briefly about why bridge is special. First off, the auction. And in games like hearts, you just try to take as many tricks as you can. But in games like bridge and spades and oh hell, you have to predict how many tricks you are going to be taking. So having that auction period adds some spiciness to the game. But you also get to choose your trump suit or lack thereof by indicating that you want to play in no trump. So this is going to be slightly different than spades, where you don't get to choose between spades and other suits. Another reason bridge is special is because you have that partnership. So in a lot of card games, you are out on your own, but in bridge and sometimes in spades, you have a partner. So you have somebody who is there with you when things go right and there with you when things go wrong. So this makes the auction more exciting. You can start to add some extra levels of theory to it, and it makes it more of a teamwork event. And then defense is also more involved and can get very creative. Oh, I don't know what I did with that, but that's okay. Then there's also the dummy. So this is something that is completely unique to bridge as far as I'm aware. I haven't seen other games that use this dummy feature. But we found out earlier that the declarer is the person who bid the suit of the final contract first. So their partner becomes the dummy. And what does the dummy do? Well, they put all 13 of their cards on the table face up for everybody to see. And then their partner chooses what cards to play. So if you've ever been in a situation where you were playing a card game and you were like, oh my God, partner, why are you not playing this specific card? This is your opportunity to do that. So they put down their 13 cards, and usually we put the trump suit over here on the left or on your right if you were putting down the dummy. But this is sort of what it would look like on the table. And so you just put all 13 of those cards out there, and it feels super weird the first time you do it. However, this adds some extra levels of strategy and some theory to it, because now there is some common information that's available for all 4 people at the table. So everybody knows what's in their own hands, but they also have this common information of the dummy. So this sort of adds a level that's kind of similar to poker with the flop. There's this information that everybody knows, and you can use that to guide your actions, but you also have unknown information where you get to sort of hold on to those secret cards that you have. So let's take a look at how this works in action. So to do this, I have a little demo set up here in SharkBridge. So this is just a little website that I like to use for teaching purposes. But in this one, we can see up in the top left corner, we have an auction. We have 1 no trump and 3 passes. So we had a bid and then 3 passes afterwards. So that's where the auction ended. South is the person who started with 1 no trump, and they are also, that was the final contract. So South is going to be the declarer. So here, the person to the left of the declarer is the person who makes the opening lead, which in this case would be West. So West starts with the ace of spades. So now we try to just take as many tricks as we can. Because we're playing in no trump, there is no trump suit. So even if somebody plays like a club or a diamond or a heart, it doesn't matter. They're not going to be able to beat whatever card was played in the suit that was led. So let's see how this works. I'm going to be the declarer here because I started with 1 no trump, and that's where it ended. So my partner is the dummy. And so even though I'm playing with 3 robots, this dummy isn't going to do anything until I tell it to do something. So in order to tell it to do something, I just get to click on whatever card I would like. So here, I'm going to just play a low spade because they started with the ace of spades and I can't beat that. So for bridge, aces are going to be high. So that's a fun little trick. You can still see it over here, but that's something that we like to call a wish trick. So you have the 4, you have the ace, and then the 2, 3, 4. So it's kind of cute because it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. So we did that and that did not work. So they won the ace of spades. We're gonna continue following suit. It's the one rule in bridge that we can't break. East plays the queen of spades, so they won that one. Now they're returning the jack. Oh man. So West now wins with the king of spades. And now they're returning one more spade. So I'm going to get rid of this little heart. I don't think that's going to be very helpful for me. And it looks like East is out of spades because they did not follow suit. So now they've returned a heart. I'm going to play my ace of hearts. I have to do that. Even if I didn't want to, I would have to play that ace of hearts. And then I'm just going to try playing off these diamonds and seeing what happens. So that's a good sign. We started with 10 diamonds. That means that our opponents had 13 minus 10, which would be 3. So there's only 1 diamond left. So we'll be able to take all the rest of these tricks here. So then what you would end up doing is you would play out all the rest of these cards. Oh, I don't think I actually am. I think that I still have one more loser. I'm just over here rambling away. So we can try to preserve our 7 of diamonds here and see what happens. We would love to win the last trick with that card, but it does not look like it is going to be promising for us. So if I wanted to win the last trick with the 7 of diamonds just for funsies, that would be the beer card, and my partner would then owe me a beverage of my choice. On this hand, I could have convinced myself to get that, but I chose to avoid doing that because I just wanted to demonstrate how to do this. So that's basically how you play a hand of bridge. You follow suit, and you play cards from both the north and the south hands. So both you and your partner, when you are the declarer, you get to choose what cards to play. So now let's talk about the goals of the game. So our first goal is going to be to have fun, obviously. But the second goal is going to be to take as many tricks as we can. So we really want to try to take as many tricks as we can, but we also have some scoring ideas that can change our approach in the auction and help us decide where we want to play. Do we want to play with spades as trump? Do we want to play with no trump suit? Things like this. So no trump contracts technically score the best, but because it's easier to take extra tricks when we have a trump suit, our priority for deciding what contract we want to play is going to be majors first. So majors are going to be our highest priority. And what are the majors? Those are going to be hearts and spades. So hearts and spades score the best for us, and it's going to be easiest for us to take some extra tricks. Our next option is going to be no trumps. This is when we have no trump suit. And then our last lowest priority option is going to be the minors. And these are going to be diamonds and clubs. And these are basically useless to us bridge players. We do not like playing with a minor suit trump suit because it just does not score very well. And it's hard to get bonuses when you have a minor. So instead, we try to play in majors or no trump usually. So now to demonstrate some of that idea, we're going to be taking a look at something called mini bridge. And this is also going to be a good way for you to practice if you don't know too much about bridge yet and you're just trying to get started. So mini bridge is going to be a great way for you to practice the idea of playing bridge and getting an idea of the scoring here without necessarily needing to understand too much about the auction. But I will be talking about the auction more in future weeks. So here, it just deals out random hands for you. This is completely free. And basically what you do is you look at the 2 hands between the 2 of us, and we try to think about where we best want to play. So the first thing we want to think is, can we play in a major suit contract? So majors are going to be hearts and spades. And it doesn't look like we want to play with spades as our trump suit because we only have 5 of them, and we know there's 13. But here, in hearts, we have 8 hearts between the 2 of us. Now, how much is enough for us to decide that that should be our trump suit? Well, for this one, we're generally looking for at least the majority. We want to have more cards in the trump suit than our opponents. So there's 13 cards in every suit. We divide that by 2. It's going to be 6.5. So to have the majority, we need at least 7, but we would like a little bit more than that. So 8 is actually what we are looking for. So the fact that we have 8 hearts between the two of us, that's enough for me to decide that I want to play with hearts as my trump suit. So first we want to decide how many or what our trump suit is going to be. And then we want to decide how many tricks we think we're going to be taking. So you can do this in any number of ways. If you're just looking to sort of get some reps in, you can just pick one that corresponds to 7 tricks. If you're looking for a real spicy challenge, you can go all the way up to 7. But what I would recommend is looking at the 2 hands and trying to think how many tricks you think you're going to win. I know that we have this ace of spades. That's going to win 1 trick. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to get 5 heart tricks. So I'm getting 5 heart tricks. I've got the ace, king, queen of clubs. So we're up to 9 already. And then let's say that king of diamonds comes home for us. Now we're going to have 10 tricks. So I'm expecting us to take at least 4 tricks over 6. And then you get to play it just like we were playing before. So now I'm going to be the declarer. My partner's going to be the dummy. I get to choose what cards to play from my partner's hand and from my own hand. So they started with the ace of diamonds and made my life really easy. So now I get to pick cards from both the north and the south hand to decide sort of how to play the hand. So it looks like we're off to a good start. I'm going to win this second one with the ace of spades. It's big. It's going to be hard for them to beat. And look at that. There's another wish trick. So we got 2 wish tricks all in one little stream here. Okay, so we won that ace of spades, and now I want to get rid of my opponent's trump cards. So we're just playing out this hand, seeing what happens, really. We're going to play this 10. It's going to be just the same as the king, queen, jack. I know that we started with 8. Our opponent started with 5. We've played 2 tricks in the heart suit, so it went 2, 4. So there's only 1 heart left. So after I play this last heart here, there won't be any more heart cards remaining. So now what do we do? Well, I know that the ace, king, and queen of clubs are good. I know this king of diamonds is good. So I know that we're going to get those 4 tricks for sure, plus these 2 heart tricks. So that's 10. Is there a way for us to get any additional ones? Well, I could start by trying to play like the king of diamonds and see what happens there. Because they started with the ace, and so, yeah, we're missing too many of those face cards. So let's just play our clubs and try to make our contract. So we're trying to take 10 tricks. We should be able to do that. We'll see what happens. Oh, wow. 4, 4, 2, 3. Okay. This one should be good. Because West decided to get rid of a little club earlier, which was kind of silly. But we'll save that 7 of diamonds just in case. It doesn't look like we'll be able to do anything with it because we have the 10 over here. But we actually ended up getting an extra trick. So we'll get rid of that 7 of diamonds. We definitely can't win anything with it. So we got bonus points because we bid higher. So in general, if you bid higher, you are going to get more points if you are successful in making your contract, which for us, we were. We said we were going to try to take 10, and we took 11. So we absolutely nailed it. So I know this is a bit of a step back from our normal material, but I thought it might be nice to just go back and start at the very beginning. So that's what I've got for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed and learned a thing or two. Happy bridging. I do this stream every Thursday. There will be 1 week in August that I won't be able to do it because I will be getting married. But otherwise, I am looking forward to seeing you guys here again. So thank you.